Look at that smile.
I want to tell you all the story about a Harper Valley widow wife who has a teenage daughter who attended Harper Valley Junior High. When her daughter came home one afternoon and didn't even stop and play, and she said, "Mom, I got a note here from the Harper Valley PTA." Well, the note said, "Mrs. Johnson, you're wearing your dress is way too high. It's reported you've been drinking and running around with men and going wild. And we don't believe you ought to be bringing up your little girl this way." And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA. Well, it happened that the PTA was gonna meet that very afternoon, and they were sure surprised when Mrs. Johnson wore her miniskirt into the room. And as she walked up to the blackboard, I can still recall the words she had to say. She said, "I'd like to address this meeting of the Harper Valley PTA. Well, there's Bobby Taylor sitting there, and 7 times he's asked me for a date. And Mrs. Taylor sure seems to use a lot of ice whenever he's away. And Mr. Baker, can you tell us why your secretary had to leave this town? And shouldn't Widow Jones be told to keep her window shades all pulled completely down?" Well, Mr. Harper couldn't be here 'cause he stayed too long at Kelly's bar again. And if you smell Shirley Thompson's breath, you'll find she had a little nip of gin. And then you have the nerve to tell me you think that as a mother I'm not fit. Well, this is just a little Peyton place and you're a Harper Valley hypocrites. No, I wouldn't put you on because it really did. It happened just this way. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. The day my mama socked it to the Harper Valley PTA. Thank y'all very much. So Loretta Lynn wrote this next song, and the story behind it was one night she was having her own show, and this lady came back around the stage and she said, "Loretta, my husband took another woman to your show." And Loretta said, "Hold on a second." And she went over to the curtain and she looked out and she said, "She's not woman enough to take your man." And I hope y'all like this next song. Well, you've come to tell me something you say I ought to know. That he don't love me anymore, I'd have to let him go. Well, you say you're gonna take him, oh, but I don't think you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Women like you, they're a dime a dozen, you can buy them anywhere. For you to get to him, I'd have to move over, and I'm gonna stand right here. Well, it'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Sometimes a man start looking at things that he don't need. He took a second look at you, but he's in love with me. I don't know where that leaves you, oh, but I know where I stand. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. Women like you are a dime a dozen, you can buy them anywhere. For you to get to him, I'd have to move over, and I'm gonna stand right here. Well, it'll be over my dead body, so get out while you can. 'Cause you ain't woman enough to take my man. No, you ain't woman enough to take my man.
KDO.
Thank you.
That's KDO, everybody.
Well, I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing that Daddy made sure of. He shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. Well, my daddy worked all night in the Van Leer coal mines, and all day long in the field of hoeing corn. Well, Mama rocked the babies at night and read the Bible by the coal light, and everything would start all over come break of morn. Well, Daddy loved and raised 8 kids on a miner's pay, and Mama scrubbed our clothes on a washboard every day. Well, I've seen her fingers bleed. To complain there was no need. She'd smile in Mommy's understanding way. Well, in the summertime we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling a hog, Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. Yeah, I'm proud to be a coal miner's daughter. I remember well the well where I drew water. The work we done was hard, and at night we'd sleep 'cause we were tired. And I never thought of leaving Butcher Holler. Well, a lot of things have changed since way back then, and it's so good to be back home again. Not much left but the floor, nothing lives here anymore, except the memory of a coal miner's daughter.
Yeah. That's a lot of words to remember.
Thank you very much.
Good job, honey. Really.
Well, Loretta Lynn was actually in a trio with Tammy Wynette and Miss Dolly Parton, and this is one of the songs that they sang. Here's It Wasn't God Who Made Honky Tonk Angels. As I sit here tonight, the jukebox playing a tune about the wild side of life. As I listen to the words you are saying, it brings memories when I was a trusted wife. And it wasn't God who made honky tonk angels, as you said in the words of your song. Too many times married men think they're still single. That has caused many a good girl to go wrong. It's a shame that all the blame is on us women. It's not true that only men feel the same. 'Cause from the start, most every heart that's ever broken was because there always was a man to blame. And it wasn't God who made honky tonk angels, as you said in the words of your song. Too many times married men think they're still single. That has caused many a good girl to go wrong. Thank y'all very much.
How about that? Those young ladies out here just killing it, aren't they? Now, hey, Katie, while you're there for a second, how come, I mean, when I asked you to come do this show, and I said, well, listen, because you're, how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
14, me too. And when I ask you to do this show, it's when you call a 14-year-old, I hate to refer to you as a kid, but how about a young lady? And I said, well, we're going to do a bunch of old country music songs, you know, the old stuff. And you started rattling off songs just like that. I know this, that, baby, all these songs. How do you know all those old songs?
Yes, sir. I've actually grown up listening to all the classic country all my life. And when you said, like, Loretta Lynn, I was like, oh, my goodness, I love Loretta Lynn. She's actually one of my favorite country artists. So when you said that I could do this show, I'm just honored. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing it. And I want you to know that in a lot of that country music, you know, those people have a really strong Southern accent. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to.
I was thinking she's not. I'm picking up a really strong Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're from Brooklyn, right?
How did y'all know?
Yeah. Actually, when she said old stuff, you mean like Miranda Lambert?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can go back. Hank Williams, Ernest Tubb.
You're a
I
good
can go
girl.
pretty far back.
Good job, Katie.
Thank
Katie O,
you.
everybody.
Yeah.
All right.